In this video, we're going to be looking at average atomic mass and percent abundance and how we can figure out which isotope is most common. I think the best way to really understand what average atomic mass is by relating it to your grades. So I have a scenario for you here. If your grades were an 80, 80, 90, 70, and an 80, what would your overall grade be closest to and why? So take a moment, pause, and answer this question, and then unpause when you're ready. For those of you who said that our overall grade was probably going to be closest to 80, that would be right. And your reasoning is somewhere probably along the lines of, well, it's our most common grade, so our overall grade should reflect what we receive most often. And that's very similar to what average atomic mass is. It's a weighted average of an element's isotopes based off of each isotope's abundance. What that means is our isotopes that are very common, our mass is going to be closest to. So for helium, our average atomic mass is 4.0026, which means that our most common isotopes for helium are going to be very close to the mass of 4. When you're looking on the periodic table, your average atomic mass is going to be that decimal number that's circled in red. If you remember from one of our other videos, the atomic number is the whole number at the top, and that's not what that is not what we're going to be looking at. We're looking at the decimal number. So I mentioned a word, abundance, and when we talk about isotopes, we talk about it in terms of percent abundance, and what it represents is how common something is. So for your grades, the score of 80 is going to have a high percent abundance because it's your most common score. For isotopes, though, we use percent abundance to talk about how common do we find this specific isotope naturally. So I have two isotopes over on the right. I have a Z-10. So this is just like an unknown element. So an isotope with a mass of 10 and then Z-9, an isotope with a mass of 9. So as you can see, we have a lot more isotopes that have a mass of 10, which means that this isotope is going to have a high percent abundance because we find it a lot. Whereas Z-9 is going to have a low percent abundance because it's not that common. If we were to think about relating percent abundance to average atomic mass, the one that we find most common is going to be closest to our atomic mass. So between Z10 and Z-9, our average atomic mass for this unknown element should be very close to Z-10 because most of our isotopes have that mass. It has a high percent abundance. So example problem number 1, looking at the table below, which isotope will the atomic mass be closest to? Support your answer, including evidence. So you have 3 isotopes. A has a percent abundance of 20, B has a percent abundance of 25, and C has a percent abundance of 55%. I want you to take 1 to 2 minutes, pause the video and answer the question, and then unpause it when you have completed it to check your answer. Unpause the video, that means you have finished answering this question. Please, before you look at the answer, make sure that it's actually completed. So the atomic mass will be closest to isotope C because it has 55% abundance, which is the highest percent of all 3 isotopes. So the evidence in this answer is going to be that percent abundance. If you just said isotope C because it has the highest percent, you did not include evidence, which means you did not give a complete answer. So that percent number is very important when it's asking for evidence. Our next question is beryllium has 3 isotopes, beryllium 7, 9, and 10. Based on the average atomic mass from a periodic table, which of the isotopes is most abundant or found most often? Give evidence to support your answer. So you are going to need your periodic table for this. When you are done answering, pause and then check your answer. Okay. The average atomic mass of beryllium is 9.01. So the isotope that is most abundant is going to be beryllium 9 because it has the closest number to the average atomic mass number of 9.01. That means it has to be the most common isotope for it to be really close to it. So the evidence in this answer is going to be the average atomic mass number. If you did not include that, make sure you go back and include it in your answer. So average atomic mass is the weighted average of isotopes for an element. The more common a specific isotope is, the higher percent abundance, which means the closer the average atomic mass will be to that mass of the isotope. Now, mass number we've covered before is protons plus neutrons, and that is not the same as average atomic mass. Mass number is when we're talking about a single atom. Average atomic mass is the average of many different atoms together. So just keep that in mind as we talk about mass, average mass, because they are different. So that is the video on average atomic mass. Make sure your guided notes are complete and then go on to the next activity.